right, guys. I think 2 minutes has already passed. Thank you guys for coming here for our Twitter space with Kima Finance. Okay. So before we actually start, um we're gonna invite our speakers to actually introduce themselves. So we're starting off with Tomer. Can you introduce yourselves?
Hey guys, so happy to be here. My name is Tomer. I'm a 25 years digital marketeer. I turned into an angel investor 12 years ago. Had a few shares of failures and successes, three failures and then two exits, which brought me to become an angel investor. Got into Kima as an angel investment opportunity. Fell in love with the technology and was lucky enough to get an offer to join the team as a lead founder. Um, Writing for Forbes and Cointelegraph about blockchain infrastructure and DeFi innovations. And looking forward to having fun with you guys, chatting about some awesome stuff in the realms of DeFi interoperability and everything around it.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tomer. You have quite a lot of experience there. It's really great to hear. Okay, and now let's move to our co-host for today, Sean. Can you introduce yourself and what you do? Okay, wait a sec, guys. Okay, approving speaker. Uh, our co-host suddenly exited. Okay, come back here.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, there you go. Yes, yes, you're here now.
Okay, what is the question again?
Oh, can you just introduce yourself before we actually start stuff?
I see. Okay. Hi everyone. So thank you for joining at this incredible X space alongside with Kima Finance and Tomer. So I am Sean. I'm currently the head of growth at Credible Finance. So basically what I'm doing is leading the way in terms of marketing growth, protocol growth, and of course, helping on how we can actually improve our community growth. So, if there's any suggestion that you have, if there's any questions that you have in mind, then feel free to recommend it and feel free to message me. I'll definitely happy to cater all those.
All right, cool, Sean. Thank you so much for that wonderful intro about you. And yeah, hi everyone. Last is me. So I'm Liz. I'm the community manager and your host for today. Okay, let's go on with our kind of first question also. This question is going for Tomer. So can you tell us more about the story behind Kima Finance and what was the inspiration of launching this platform?
Will be happy to, thank you. So, a little bit about the origins of Kima. Kima started as a project with a completely different name called Diversify. The project started many years ago. I think it's like now 3 and some change years ago, maybe 4 years ago, as a project that aims to solve the liquidity problem of different chains by creating one unified protocol to bring all of the liquidity of all blockchains together and get better utilization for the capital that is stored on chain, and to give it better access to chains who are trying to bootstrap their own liquidity. While trying to do so, the team found out that it's going to be very challenging to do so while relying on bridges and smart contracts. Due to the fact that bridges and smart contracts, that has smart contracts and oracles, excuse me, in them, are basically relying on softwares. Bridges that rely on smart contracts and oracles are the number one target for hackers, because if you will be able to hack one side of the bridge, the smart contract or the oracle, you can basically drain one side or both sides of the bridge. And they saw that this solution is going to be not so acceptable for the centralized world who they aim to bring on board. When I say they, I mean the founders of Kima. And then they started thinking a little bit outside of the box to think how we can bridge assets without using any bridges and any smart contracts. And that's how Kima was born. Kima is today the universal communication protocol that unifies communication between any blockchain to any decentralized and decentralized application through very unique mechanism that requires no smart contracts or oracles, has no liquidity on the protocol, and has no dApps on the protocol, and has only validator nodes who are used to translate, you can say, and execute on requests that are coming from decentralized and centralized applications. To explain simply what we do today, we've created a technology backed by 3 patents, backed by FinTech Innovation Labs by MasterCard, blockchain, Big Brain Holdings, ChainGPT Labs, etc., that enables, let's say, a decentralized application such as Aave, for example, to connect directly to a bank and to generate yield from your fiat money in your bank account directly on the blockchain, being swapped into USDC and managed through your normal bank account, and vice versa to that example. Completely unique technology, very innovative, very breakthrough protocol that will truly unify Web 2 and Web 3, not as a buzzword, but we're already doing it technically. We're on mainnet, and we're inviting all of you to come and try us out.
Thanks for that, Tomer. That's really great to hear that you guys have been really unifying Web 2 to Web 3. And okay, I'll move on next to Sean. So like Sean, can you like introduce your what Credible is?
Okay, sure, no problem. So, credible finance, it's like it operates like a crypto-based credit card with an asset-backed credit line. So think of it as like you can pledge your crypto as collateral to access a line of credit. So instead of selling your assets, Credible allows you to borrow stable coins or fiat equivalent, providing you the immediate liquidity that you need. So the good thing about it is very flexible to the point that it is a solution for you to manage your finances without sacrificing your crypto investment, because there's a lot of people out there who had their DeFi position locked. Let's say for example, they're providing liquidity on Radium, Meteor, or even Orca, or some are actually staking their soul on Jito, Sanctum, and Jupiter. With Credible, since they are one of our partners, they can actually receive a credit limit that is can be used on their Credible card. So this approach can allow the users to maintain their current DeFi position without being forced to exit or sell assets to cover their lifestyle expenses.
Okay, thanks for that, Sean. Very happy for you like to be in this space as well with Tomer. Okay, I'll go on and start like the questions like revolving around the technology and innovation side of things. Okay. So for Tomer, so how does your platform leverage AI and blockchain to provide enhanced financial services? Like can you share some examples of it?
Of course, I will be happy to. So, important to mention that Kima, as I explained in my example, is solely relying on our validator nodes to operate. So these are completely independent. They're basically driven by, you can say, an AI that is running the actual network. It's basically a workflow, that is based on the core protocols principal operations. But more uniquely than that, and not only to use the AI as a buzzword because everybody like to use it now and to discuss about MLMs and AIs in their products, we are relying on a tool called Lima, which is our liquidity management algorithm, and also the name of our AI agent that you can meet on our Twitter, by the way, that is responsible on managing all the liquidity that is stored and managed by Kima on all other blockchains. So Lima is an AI agent that is the core of the Kima network financial operation. You can think of it as something similar to Uber. So when you guys are going to token 24/9, the Uber drivers are getting higher fees. They're being incentivized to come to that area to pick you up, and instead of the area that they're currently in order to be able to support the high demand that's currently happening in a certain area. So Lima does the same. Lima recognizes the need of liquidity on other blockchains, and it smartly incentivizes and managing the liquidity between blockchains, transferring it through the Kima protocol, and by that making capital more accessible and better utilized for everyone. So imagine that a liquidity provider now will provide liquidity on Aave on Ethereum, and currently the fee for USDC would be 5.5% yearly yield. And on the other hand, on Solana, now, due to the meme coin casino that is running on a pump.fun, the APY would be 14.5 because traders are leveraging themselves to get exposure to these memes. So when this thing is being recognized by the Lima protocol that is managing the Kima liquidity sources on other chains, the money will be transferred by Lima from Ethereum to Solana in order to maximize the liquidity provider's yields. If it's not being managed by Lima, it will show the incentivization to the liquidity pools in order to attract the liquidity providers to bring the money themselves. So that's basically the core that I can say that is being used by our AI capabilities. We have a few more tricks up our sleeve, but I don't want to take too much of our time today. Then I will give my friend the next question.
Okay, thanks for that one, Tomer. I really appreciate that kind of great insight about Lima by Kima Network. And the good thing about Lima, what I like about it is it provides real time insights about the blockchain activity. And the good thing about it is it's actually helping users to optimize their liquidity strategies and all that. So it's like I'm just wondering, um does Lima enhances user experiences and its integration with platforms like Telegram and X maybe in the near future, making it as like an accessible, powerful tool for like both investors and even degens and all?
Of course. So we've created a front end. We brought Lima to life on Telegram. It's going to soon launch on our website in a dedicated area, and it's already live on our Telegram. So people can actually speak and integrate with the Lima brain that is currently managing the liquidity on Kima. but in a more simplified manner that will be accessible to the average Joe, let's say, um, by tweeting and finding opportunities of yields that exist at the moment on, well, basically across all chains and protocols, and also discussing the pros and cons of providing these or providing liquidities on these. Currently accessible again on our Twitter. Um, Also, you can have a chat with our Lima on Telegram, simple chats in our Telegram group. And soon we will have a dedicated zone for it on our website. That's how we're making that tool and our technology accessible to everyone. But to be very honest and direct, the main core on our end is not to make Lima usable for users in order to generate yield. We're not yield managers. We're not asset managers to anyone. We've created Lima in order to make the technology and the logic behind it and the data that she has the access to more accessible to everyone. But again, the core of the Kima protocol is to provide universal communication protocol to the decentralized and the decentralized ecosystems.
Thanks for that, Tomer. And especially with the rise of like DeFi, so like security is like also a major concern for users, right? So like, can you explain like how the schema finance ensure the safety of the funds and the data of the users?
Of course, we'll be happy to. So the way that Kima operates is very unique and different than current bridging solutions that you guys may know. Kima operates without having any assets on Kima. We'll try to give an example that I usually use in order to make in order for it to make more sense to you guys. So Kima is okay. Let's try to send assets through a normal bridging solution from Solana to Ethereum. So sending 100 USDC from Solana now to Ethereum. I sent 100 USDC to the Solana bridge to the smart contract. 100 USDC have been received by the smart contract. And now the smart contract on Solana has initiated another smart contract transaction on the Ethereum side and sent 100 USDC to the destination. Now, this trick basically relied on smart contracts and oracles. Both of them, as I said, are very, very hackable. They're easy targets for hackers because once they are managed to hack into that smart contract or to trick that oracle, basically they hit the jackpot, right? They can drain all of the money that is managed by that smart contract in one source. So in Kima, we operate in a different manner. So important to mention first that Kima builds on every blockchain that we're connected to a Kima relay. That Kima relay can be seen as the internet socket that you guys have in your walls in your homes. So I'm going to send now 100 USDC with Kima from Solana to Ethereum. 100 USDC have arrived to the Solana smart contract. That smart contract, the bridge, has Kima's SDK in it. So the Kima SDK now takes the transaction and sends a message through the Kima relay to the Kima network saying 100 USDC have arrived from this transaction at that time. Please send 100 USDC on Ethereum when confirmed, simplifying the process into human language, guys. So once that has been done, the Kima network receives the message that was sent through the Kima relay. Imagine that the Kima's SDK is like the internet, your Ethernet cable, and now it's connected to the Kima network, to the internet, through that Kima relay. So the Kima network received the message, and now the Kima network physically go to Solana. The validator nodes are looking at Solana, and they need to say that the transaction indeed happened in history, that it's there written on Solana. So in order to hack that thing, you need to hack to all of the Solana network and fake the transaction. And I remind you guys that we sent no assets through the Solana bridge in our example. We sent a message. So you cannot steal something that doesn't exist, right? There were no assets sent during that time. So 100 USDC through the Solana to the Kima network with a message. Kima network physically saw that the money is there on Solana, and now each validator node that participated in validating it will need the 2/3 of the Kima validators on the consensus. Each is revealing the shard that is stored on its CPU core, and that CPU core shard is being decrypted, forming the private keys required to sign a transaction on the MPC vault located on the Ethereum side, and the Kima network itself, the validator nodes, are signing the transaction and sending the 100 USDC on Ethereum. Now, that story looks very, very complex and very, very long. Luckily for us, it's being done at the speed of light. All of that long process was basically to explain how we're operating, but there was no computation process taking place. The only latency was on the Solana side, on the smart contract, and on the Ethereum side to resolve the smart contract. But the Kima network is operating at the speed of light. All of that process happened without you guys even feeling it. Each and every process that I just mentioned is theoretically unhackable. And if you hacked one of the theoretically unhackable processes, of course, you need to hack the whole flow, each and every part of that flow, to be able to drain money from one side or another. So that's how we are securing the funds that are managed by the Kima network on sources, and that's how we're bringing a solution that is accepted by centralized entities such as banks, governments, centralized applications like, for example, Revolut or PayPal or Robinhood, in order to transfer value and assets from one source to another.
Okay, thank you for that wonderful insight about security, Tomer. And you know what? Having a partnership with Credible alongside Kima is something that we really never regret, because having that kind of security is vital. And I love the way you mentioned you can't steal what doesn't exist, because with Kima, I just realized that Kima Network ensure a safe and reliable transaction across its payment infrastructure. Since we are actually in DeFi, PayFi, and CDFi, it's very vital to have that kind of security measure. So with strong security measures in place, Kima really protects users from risk like fraud, unauthorized access, and smart contract vulnerabilities. So yeah, I really love that kind of thought. And also because right now, alongside with Credible, for everyone's reference, the reason why we have this kind of partnership is in the context of supporting their fiat railways. So we're gonna be needing to on ramp and off ramp euro fiat currency. So that's why right now I realize, oh yeah, it's actually worth it to be partnered with Kima. So in terms of in the regards of partnership, I really wanted to know, on your based on your point of view, can you share like the most exciting partnership that you have with Credible with us? Because I just mentioned that one. I really appreciated it. So with Kima, what is the most exciting partnership that you are actually looking at and that has formed recently? And how this kind of partnership help Kima Finance grow its reach and utility?
So it's very hard to point into one very exciting partnership that we're having. We're having lots of exciting partnerships across the board. Some of them are in the early stages, some of them are in more mature stages. Each and every one of them is important, to help and bring the power of Kima to centralized and decentralized ecosystems and unify the usage and the transfer of value and assets from one point to another. It's very hard to point to at one thing that would be probably the biggest or best thing that we've done. We have various partnerships with centralized entities and decentralized entities, and some that are somewhere in the middle, like your Credible, that offer all kind of unique solutions that in the previous cycles we didn't even imagine that will be finally accessible, on chain to the decentralized financial ecosystem. Very hard to point out. We have amazing partnerships, with entities like Credible. We have partnerships with entities like ChainGPT for other usages. We have it for the stablecoin issuers that we're working on at the moment. And we have it even with the three governments that we're exploring partnerships for their CBDC, upcoming CBDC tokens that will be using Kima, hopefully. Nothing is closed yet, guys, but hopefully for the crypto payment on and off ramps between their central banks. So very hard to point out at one, but I can say that a lot of interesting things are definitely happening right now. As for you guys, and well, we're now at the stage that we're looking forward to see how the new Trump administration that is so crypto friendly is going to help and shape, let's say, the next evolution of the decentralized financial ecosystem as part of the uh, modern financial ecosystem that is still centralized.
Okay, thanks for that, Tomer. And that was really amazing that you guys are connecting to local banks and even the government. We all know that like Web3 and government, and usually in some countries, they're very hard to like reach out to. Like here, maybe in Philippines as well, they're kind of like not welcoming still. But that's very great that you guys have been like pushing for like initiatives like that. And it's also true that we're also waiting for like positive results from Trump sitting in the administration. Hopefully, crypto's gonna go very, very smooth as well in like countries like ours. And then yeah, okay. The next question would be like, how does Kima Finance aim to make decentralized finance like more accessible and user friendly, especially to newcomers, those that are new to crypto?
Excuse me, go again on the question because you were a little bit
Oh,
tossed
okay.
out on my end. I switched my headset. I ran out of battery. Excuse me. I heard half of it until it reconnected.
Okay, okay. Okay, okay, it's fine, it's fine. Okay. So the question is like, how does Kima Finance like aim to make decentralized finance more accessible and user friendly, especially to newcomers in crypto?
Oh, thank you for that one. So, this would probably be the easiest question that Kima can answer for. We're doing it by making the whole blockchain completely transparent to the average Joe, to the user. So, using Kima, every centralized application now can build using decentralized capabilities of dApps and of decentralized finance to enjoy this wonderful world that we are enjoying for years already without even knowing that people are using um, something that is called blockchain. So imagine the first early days of the social media revolution. To those of you who are old enough like me, you probably remember that back in the day to create content online, it was really a hard job. You needed to be a programmer, you needed to know PHP, you needed to know HTML, CSS, you needed to have your own server to host your website, and you needed to know how to configure your domain. And that all only to have your tiny blog so you can write your stuff in. The internet was basically a very read-only place where the big entities could afford to be there and write messages to the world. Something like reading the newspaper, only on your computer screens. And then the social media revolution started. The era of user generated content. Companies like Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, Twitter, and others simplified the process of creating content online by just asking you for your email and to choose a password. And here you go. You have your own tiny website where you can write your stuff called a wall and your profile where you can share your ideas with the world and even share your videos on YouTube. How cool is that, right? You're being famous. You're on TV all around the world with YouTube with a username and a password. Simplified it. So a blockchain now is still in the era of being very, very complicated to the average user to actually use. It's really hard. You need to have wallet and seed phrases and private keys and funding your wallet with gas and confirming the allowance of a smart contract to interact with your certain token managed by you. Ah, very difficult, very hard, very complex. A solution now, if you use it for trading, is basically to open an account on a centralized exchange and well, it's 100% custodial, um, like your bank managing your own funds. But if you want to go blockchain, you need the knowledge and understanding of what's going on here. Now, as you all know, it's a very risky place. It's very, very dangerous. Hacks, scams, and everything here is very dangerous and requires knowledge. Kima simplifies it. Kima enables, thanks to our protocol, to create a centralized, simple experience for a user that is happening completely on chain without the user even knowing that there's a thing called blockchain or that he just sent a transaction. By just doing simple operations, any user now can interact with any blockchain and any decentralized application as long as the developer on the experience that he or she are using is utilizing the Kima protocol. We are completely flattening the curve, the adaptation curve, that is required to do the shift from Web 2 centralized world to the Web 3 decentralized technology world by helping everyone to communicate with everyone. So imagine that you can just go into your PayPal account, for example. PayPal is a bad example because they already have it with PayUSD. But imagine that you're going into your Robinhood app and now you're opening a Robinhood app and you're able to buy a Tesla stock using your bank meme coin token that you have on your Solana wallet directly with no intermediaries, with no bridges and no oracles. And you can even hold all of these bank tokens in a completely self-custodial manner without knowing that you have a wallet, without even knowing its address, and without knowing what a blockchain is and how it operates. All of that is done thanks to the Kima protocol that enables the existence of an API on a blockchain, the only blockchain that has an API that enables any centralized application to communicate now with any decentralized application. That's, I think, the main uniqueness of Kima in terms of the Web 2, Web 3 adaptation and flattening that curve.
Okay, I just really love like the blockchain has like the API part that's like really interesting to hear. And I completely agree that we are still early. Like there's a lot of changes to what happened like in the past in this span of like 10 years, like what more can we expect from 20 to 30 years, right? And yeah, it's very nice that like Kima Finance are simplifying like how users interact with like blockchain. And it's just really making me curious, like especially in terms of like growth and expansion. Like can you like give us a sneak peek into what's next for Kima Finance in terms of like the product development or maybe like market expansion?
So, um, there's no tiny sneak peek because most of the stuff that is working behind the scenes with Kima is kind of huge. But I'm trying to think what I can share with you guys. I can share that we just been accepted to a huge international program as the first Web3 decentralized finance entity to connect one of the, well, not to connect, to, I'd say, to be more clear and not to overpromise and underdeliver. I'd say to explore the integration of one of the biggest financial entities in the world into the blockchain, governmental, that is. Um, so this is something very exciting that is happening now in Kima. It's just got confirmed last week, and we are full force ahead with that partnership. Other than that, we have four big, huge communication entities that we have just partnered with that are going to become an integral part of the Kima network. Again, cannot explain too much because we're under NDAs. And centralized world is a bit different than the decentralized world. Things take longer. And regulation is a bitch, as we say. So cannot completely reveal everything that is about to happen. But I'll tell you this. We are welcoming and inviting all of you to follow us on our X and to follow us on Telegram announcement channel and to become part of our Telegram community, where we will announce all of these very, very soon as the news come. I'm just waiting for the markets to become a little bit more stable, and then we will start revealing some of the mind-blowing stuff that has been happening to Kima since, let's say, late October. Looking forward to share these with you, so make sure you guys are following.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely wait for that kind of announcement. And yeah, I agree with you, Tomer, in regards to the thing that, yeah, it's also important to work alongside with some legal stuff. Let's say, for example, licenses, just like what you mentioned earlier, you've been working with on how you can actually process the CBDC. And also it is also right now, from what I can see, some of the exchanges are also acquiring licenses for Mika licenses solution so that they can actually move bridges and traditional to decentralized system. And it's great to see that Kima Finance is actually, as you mentioned, the first decentralized entity to explore an integration about that. So I'm actually really looking forward to that one. And since you are one of our valued partner, so we're actually rooting for that kind of growth. So there's a lot of regulations all around the world, in the Philippines, in Japan. They're actually very strict about regulation. And right now, what we're trying to avoid is that kind of mindset that with crypto it's a scam and all that. But since there's a lot since I'm one of the people who's really passionate about growth and innovation, I do appreciate the people like you and also Kima Finance who's actually doing this kind of thing. So in that way, I just really wanted to know, because blockchain are currently in the trend right now. We are growing exponentially, and at the same time, a lot of people are already aware on what blockchain is all about, on what crypto is all about. But because we've already passed the awareness stage. We've started like way back 10 years ago when the Bitcoin white paper was released. I believe for the next 10 to 20 years, it's time for us to like adopt and all, because we've already passed the awareness stage. It is time for us to like fully adopt on the blockchain technology and specifically within the financial sector. So, on what advice would you give to those people who just like join? Like, let's say, for example, they just joined this year. and for those users who are just starting with DeFi or blockchain based finance?
Oh, my best advice would probably be quite simple stuff like get a cold wallet and don't store your stuff on the hot wallets on chain. Never share your seed phrase and blah 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 blah. But basically, guys, do your own research about stuff that is happening in this ecosystem because, as you saw, also the best of us, like what just happened to Bybit in recent days. Um, are falling into various scams. This industry is becoming, the scamming industry is becoming very, very, it's too flattering to say smart and sophisticated, but they are smart and sophisticated, smart thieves. Then I'd say if you're joining, definitely do your research, learn how stuff works before you're jumping into deep waters. And remember that no one gives gifts in this industry. So if you just found out that someone mistakenly sent 100 USDT.com/X, come claim here now tokens to your wallet, then know that this is most probably a scam. No one makes mistakes here. And if you, as we say, if you cannot recognize the sucker in the room, it's probably you, then this is the best advice I can give to newcomers to the industry. If something is too good to be true, it probably isn't. So DYOR, store your own stuff on a cold wallet, never on a hot wallet, unless you need it for day-to-day operations, a little bit of it. And yeah, learn how stuff works, guys. And don't invest in stupid stuff. Invest in stuff that you understand.
Yeah, thanks for that, Tomer. Like, I really like what you said. Like, don't invest in stupid stuff. So, yeah, I think a lot of people really need to like know this like by heart. And yeah, thank you for a very good reminder, especially for our new peoples here. Like, everyone should always like do their own researches before like going into like a certain platform or something. Because right now, right, there's a lot of like for example, there's a lot of very like recruiters like DMing you and then telling you to like download an application, so that's really important that people should really like avoid, because I've seen a lot of people like get scammed in like this century. So yeah, like before we actually wrap up this like AMA session, like is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience, like about Kima Finance that we haven't touched on yet?
No, guys, I think that has been very thorough. So thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for the opportunity to be part of your amazing ecosystem and to be presented to your lovely community. It's been great, and we're inviting everyone who wants to learn a little bit more about Kima, what we do, how we operate, and about the protocol to come over and have a chat. We are open for business, as we say, and looking forward to hearing more from each and every one of you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, Tomer. We're very happy that you actually joined us here in the space. We thank Kima Finance, Kima Network as well for like joining here and even being a partner of Credible Finance. We really appreciate you guys. For our listeners, thank you so much for like spending your time with us today. We look forward to like seeing you guys on the next spaces. Sean, thank you as well for being the co-host for today. Yeah, I guess we finished the spaces. Yay. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, guys. Have an awesome day. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, guys. Don't forget to follow both Kima Finance and Credible. Bye bye.